Welcome back, y'all. We are here for another episode of Triggered AF, the podcast. And we are here with the ever so gorgeous and absolutely amazing Kela Walker. How are you?
You are too, guys. I love it, though. I'm amazing. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes,
I'm a Triggered AF fan.
Yes.
We're so happy to have you. I'm so excited.
Yes, listen. And this is one of my favorite conversations, even though she was definitely talking shit about my questions. Wasn't she? She was talking mad shit about our questions offline, but I promise y'all, this is going to be such a dope-ass conversation, and she's going to love it by the time we finish. She is. She's going to love it. I decided. Right?
I trust you, Alicia. I trust you.
Yes, I trust. Now, the reason I love Kela, and we met officially on the continent, South Africa, right?
We met in, South Africa in 2019.
Right
2019, right before the panorama, right before the panini press.
Right before we met. And what drew me to you is, so I really love, because I had suffered from low self-esteem for so long, I used to, instead of becoming insecure around women who were sure of themselves or who really, really liked themselves, I would always do my best to connect with women who had this air of, I'm that bitch. Like that, I'm that bitch type energy. That's what drew me to you in college, because she was so sure of herself and I was so unsure of myself. So when I met you in South Africa, I was like, oh, she don't know it yet, but we're going to be friends.
I feel like you walked up to me and said that. He was like, hey girl, hey. Like you just started with all of this, like just really great energy and positivity. And you're a little shorter than me. So I'm like, I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, I got this top you got on. Yes, that's why you already know that we see each other. Like we have some things in common. Yeah. And you just have this really great energy. And I absolutely agree. I was like, yeah, we're gonna be friends. She's good people.
I decided, that's usually how it works for me. I'm like, I like that energy. There's something in you that I really like. I wonder if she'll be my friend.
But did I give that bitch energy?
You did.
Did I?
Did. But that's a good thing.
She said, did I? I'm that girl.
Yes.
You have to feel that way, though, right? You do.
Because
if
not you, then who?
If not me, then who? If I don't believe it. And I see people, not to like point anything out, like you see other folks, and I'm like, sis is out here, like the math ain't mathing, but she believe it. Like she believe it. Yeah. And if I ain't got no choice but to believe it. She is very confident in this moment. And so like,
I like to call it my Kanye confidence.
Yes.
That's the kind of level of confidence I'm always aiming for.
Yes.
How can I be as confident as Kanye West? Yes. Like his confidence is like almost like a little delusional, but I want to get there.
You need to be delusional.
A little bit. You have to see it before anybody else can, and that's going to feel delusional in the moment.
Exactly. But it has to be more than delusional. So I'm reading this book right now, y'all. It's so good. It's called Rich as Fuck. Listen. I don't know. I don't even remember. It's called Rich as Fuck.
Straight to the point. This is what it's about. No guessing.
It's called Rich as Fuck. I'm a firm believer in your mind has to arrive before your body does.
Absolutely.
Because what will happen if your mind doesn't get there before your body gets there?
You gotta believe it.
Listen, your actions will bring you back to your set point, which is usually below what your spirit knows is possible and capable for you.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. Come on and praise. Come on. Come on.
Whatever. So for that reason, I like to read books where women are talking their shit. Like, this is who I am, this is what I've done, this is how you could do it too, this is what it looks like. And so in the book, Rich as Fuck, she literally says in there, and there's one line, and I'm gonna have to pull it out my phone because
it's a great title.
It's
really drawn to the title.
Listen,
like, give me that.
How do I do that?
Just sit it on the mantle so I can just have Rich as Fuck vibes up in the house. Okay, just all up in the house.
Sit it on the mantle.
Amazon listen,
literally, she said, if you want a big, expansive life with big, expansive results, you will have to give up all that is practical and logical. You will have to live an unrealistic life and understand that it requires you to also execute unrealistically. Being delusional is the start to that. You have to get delusional. Get delusional as fuck.
You have to, because it's the idea, even in that, it's getting outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Right? Because we're so settled in what we know and what's familiar. But when you go beyond that, it's amazing what can actually happen. So
because you have to see beyond.
That last line of get delusional.
Get delusional as fuck.
That was it.
Kanye, he's on to something, y'all.
Yeah.
He really is. Like, there's a line in one of his songs, back, the old Kanye, before I had it, I used to close my eyes and imagine.
Yeah.
And literally with my coaching clients, I have them. You get to
That's really good.
it's called dream. My mentor calls it dream walking. But you get to literally get on an elevator. On that elevator, come off the elevator, pretend that there is a roller coaster. Get on that roller coaster, and I want you to ride by the different parts and aspects of your life and envision what you want it to look like, what you want it to be.
It's so crazy that you said. I feel like I've manifested things in that way. Like when I look at sort of the evidence and what I like to call like the evidence of God.
Yeah.
Like things that I've just pointed out. Like like back in college, like who are these people on stage? I want to do this.
I want to do that.
I want to do that. And then like literally a year later, I didn't even know what it was called. I'm like, I'm an orientation advisor and didn't even know that's what I was pointing out. Or like driving down the street that I live on now, I'm like, I want to live on this block. I want to live by the botanical gardens, by the museum. I live on that block.
Yeah.
Like, so again, when I look at the evidence, it's like, you know, like you said, picture things in your head, point it out, but also there's power in the tongue, right? And so calling it out, pointing it out.
And then feeling it.
Yeah. You gotta
feeling it and believing.
But also trusting and believing, right?
Yeah.
Faith without works is there, so you got to walk by faith and not by sight. All of the biblical cliche terms, right? But like those things. And so again, going back to delusion, picturing things, just really pointing out and being mindful of like, this is what I want my life to be.
Yes.
And it's only delusional until it's not.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
It's only impossible until it's actually possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like the Bible talks about like having faith the size of
Here she goes quoting the Bible. Here go grandma. Let's go.
Come on, Pastor.
Whatever. Y'all know how to do religion. I don't know why she be acting like that.
Every episode she quotes the Bible scripture, y'all. Let's go. Here we go.
And today's scripture comes from the book of
whatever. But in the Bible, it talks about having faith the size of a mustard seed. Yeah. And for me, I feel like faith the size of the mustard seed, it may take too long for that to happen. So I am of the opposite belief in that. No, I have gorilla faith. I have gorilla faith in myself that whatever I decide is what it will be because I am willing to literally persist until it is mine. Giving up is not a fucking option. I've decided this is what it's going to be, and that's just what the fuck it is. Period. But listen, we gonna go ahead and
we didn't even start the interview yet, y'all. We just going. Okay, look.
We didn't even started
Look at all these triggers.
Listen, all the triggers just everywhere. But no, so listen, my thing is I like that not only are you a 7-time Emmy-nominated talent. Seven. Listen, isn't that the number of completion?
Hello. Listen,
but we want to get some more.
Come on, Heavenly Father. You hear ladies, you hear them.
Listen, a total style maven, a red carpet extraordinaire, and a brunch connoisseur. Because she loves to brunch. Now, listen, we get to keep the titles coming. Like, literally. All the things. But I want to know, of all the hats, all the titles, all the dope shit, who does Kela say she is?
This is, oh my gosh. I saw this question. I was like, I hate this question. Can I say?
Oh my. We love it.
Triggered. Who are you?
Who are you?
Because I feel like so often in society, we've got to label ourselves and we've got to define ourselves, right? And yes, you must define yourself, but I feel like I'm Kela and I identify with people on so many different levels. Whether I identify with you professionally in the media realm, or we just like going to brunch together, or you like I like call myself a cocktail connoisseur, but like, you know, you like a good drink. Like I vibe with people on so many different levels. And so, yes, of course, I am a daughter. I am a sister. You know, I am a good friend. But I have people that connect with me that have never even met me. But they're like, oh my God, you're my best friend in my head. Because you saw something and you vibed out in a way. So I just feel like I am... I'm Kela. I'm Kela. And I am a full range. And, you know, I just can't put it into words.
I love that.
Okay, that's okay.
Listen, however you answer.
I'm me.
Yeah, that's a good damn thing to be. That's an amazing thing to be. So with that question, the reason we ask it is because we have literally had people answer in all types of ways in that I'm ever evolving. Or I don't know who I am in this moment, but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, it's the only question we ask to everybody because we deal with so many multi-hyphenate people. Yes. And we know, just like you said, titles can be exhausting.
They are so exhausting.
And it's easy to get lost in them. And to feel like they are your identity.
Yes.
Right? And you're just like, okay, well, I'm this thing and that's all I can be. So we're like, okay, we want you to just decide and make and declare it so that people can see you for more than just maybe what your titles are.
And when I have this conversation with people, I always bring up to Shonda Brown Duckett, who has this awesome quote that I love, in that you rent your title, but you own your character.
Yes.
And so I just stand by that, because so many people like, oh, I'm blankety blank at this publication or this organization.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that organization folds tomorrow, who are you?
Now what?
Ooh. Now what, right? You rent that title. That is not yours, but you own your character. And even like so much of the work that I get comes from my character. And I always say too, be mindful of your character and your reputation will watch after itself.
Yeah.
A lot of my work comes from like word of mouth and like, oh, I've heard about you, I've seen you, and that's how I get bookings. And it's not because I'm in association with any one brand or any organization, but because of my character and who I am and how I show up.
Yeah.
Oh. Listen, I already told y'all this is going to be a dope conversation. You can tell from the time we got started. Okay? I hope y'all got y'all pen and paper handy, because you're going to need to take notes, sis.
Do the folks be taking notes?
They be taking notes.
Do they? Oh,
They be taking
okay.
notes.
All right.
And we'll send us DMs about like, hey, this really helps me, or hey, I really loved this, or this person on the
I love that.
Yeah.
And we get excited about that.
That's my favorite. I mean, that's why we do it.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is about, is to have that community of trigger happy our trigger happy fans, as we call them, so that we can try to figure this shit out together.
And also when you know it resonates with someone, right? Like you know it resonates because people taking notes and they're like reflecting it back to you. Like, ooh, it wasn't just me.
Exactly.
So you picking up what I'm putting down.
So for this episode, she felt like this topic was
See, I thought we had an offline conversation, but y'all just gonna put me out there. Okay, boom, I see how y'all do it. Okay.
No, I'm not putting you out. Listen, no, I'm not putting you out. What I'm saying is, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is that we thought that you would be perfect for this conversation, because when Alechia speaks about you, she speaks about just how good you are at just like flowing in your femininity. And just like leaning into what the girls are now calling a soft life.
A soft life, right?
Soft life.
Right?
And she just felt like you were so perfect because of, and you know, me even going to your Instagram and just looking, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I get it. Okay, this is it. You know, and people will just look at, you know, someone who is, say, a style maven, someone who's super fashion, who works in fashion. But there's just so much more to the kind of confidence it takes to express yourself in your clothing, in the way you carry yourself, to care enough to, like, I feel like there's just so much more to it, and it's so underrated.
It is.
So I just love just seeing that, and just knowing that as Black women, we haven't always had that opportunity. Like, you even, if you can even think back to slavery days, where the reason why we had to wrap up our hair was because we would have all these eccentric, amazing hairstyles, and the slave owners would be so attracted to the women that their wives started demanding that we cover our hair. Like, that's a real thing.
It's too mesmerizing. Please cover that up.
And we would
cover it up.
Certain clothing was to cover up our curves. So we have had centuries of having to dim our light.
Absolutely.
So I am so here for the soft life girls and us kind of stepping into that space of, no, we're here, look at us, and we can be and stand in that light and stand in that power. So I just want that to be kind of the space that we take this conversation, because we just haven't had the permission for a really long time, and women like you give other women that permission. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why.
Thank you.
That's why I was like, no, definitely, Kela, because you're bright, you're bold, you're beautiful, and you're unapologetic.
And you're in spaces that a lot of times we feel like we don't belong.
Child.
Like, y'all, why Kela was at the Met, y'all? Why Kela was at the Met Gala, y'all? Okay.
I be there. On the steps. I ain't been in the building, but I'm there, okay? I'm in the vicinity.
You there. Okay. And I saw that, and I was like, that is like a dream of mine. And to see you there, it was like, oh my God, this is like a thing.
It's crazy. I've been doing it for like 9 years now.
Incredible.
And it's amazing to see more Black women on that red carpet, because when I did it, I was probably like the only one when I first did it for the first time. Like, I can't remember, like, it was, you know, like just the old guard, if you will, on the steps covering and doing the press. And so now to see so many other outlets on deck and just so many other Black women there is like, we are here. We at the Met. Insert Met Gala rap lyric.
So I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was just, it felt so good to see that and to know, like, no, this is possible. You don't have to be this. You don't have to be this other person. You don't have to be associated with this and that. Like, no, you can really work your ass off.
Absolutely.
Make your connections. Be a good person so that people want to bring you into those spaces.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, it also goes in the idea, like, sometimes things don't show up in the way that you want them to or even imagine them to, right? Because some people are like, I want to be at the Met. And like, you can be at the Met in a range of ways. Whether, you know, again, I'm working the red carpet doing press, but there are obviously guests at the Met. And just, I mean, there's people that are talent at the Met. And so there's just, whether it's the Met or across the board, there's so many ways that you can show up and be in a space. And it may not be, again, ideal, but you've got to be open to flexibility and achieving your goals and your dreams.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we're so like, no, I got to get here in this way. And it's like, no. If you just say, okay, if you be a little less diligent in how and flow with it, then you might get to the what a little bit quicker.
Yeah, because people focus so much on the, well, I can't take a step, I can't make a move, I can't, because I don't know how.
Right.
And it's like, you don't have to
You
know
don't have to know how.
You can just know what.
Yeah.
And in knowing what, I always say just take the next best step. And I think was it Oprah who originally said it or something? I don't remember. I do believe it was Oprah. Where she was saying like, what's the next best step?
Yeah.
And I literally have now ingratiated that into my entire being, where I do not have to see the entire staircase going on up to wherever it is, as long as it's not to glory, because I've got a lot more years left to go. I pray. I just can't go to glory just yet. But take the next best step to achieve whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use Google. The whole, I don't know how to do it. Shut up.
You hate that.
Google, bitch.
You like sis. The internet has all the answers.
It's a thing.
Figure it out on the internet.
You have a whole what? How the hell you pronounce it? Encyclopedia. Oh yeah, that's the word.
That's back in the day, they don't do the encyclopedias no more. They don't do.
They're on the internet.
Listen, they at your black parents' house. That's where they had collecting dust because they paid all that money for A through C.
Yes, they pay all the money for the Encyclopedia Britannica. That's what I was, y'all. I was mixing up the Encyclo and then the Britannica.
Is that what was happening?
That's what was happening. And I was really trying to get it in my head. Like, why can't you say this word? It is not a difficult word. But like, it's literally now in the palm of our hands.
Right.
It is now in the palm of our hands. Yeah. And people would rather say, I don't know how to do something and sit down than to still sit down if you're a little tired. Take out your phone and Google how to da-da-da-da-da.
People also want to be told what
Google.
To do and how to do it.
Well, because
people
we're
don't want to do the work.
To be workers.
Yeah.
Like, to be like workers in the sense of like just following orders.
Yeah. But I mean, even what you were saying just a second ago, I feel like there's a sermon in that too. Like we see, like God has given you the vision and you don't need to know how per se. You just need to trust and start. And then he'll help you along the way.
Yeah.
As you're moving.
Yes, as you're moving, right? And also like hurry up and fail. Try something. You be like, oh, this ain't work. Next. All right. Figure that out real quick.
Yeah, there's a song by John Legend. I don't even remember what the name of it is, but the chorus is, when you move, I move. And so I take that in my life. When I move, everything else fucking moves. Literally. It took me deciding I'm tired of my own bullshit for all the opportunities to come. But instead, people think it's the reverse. The opportunities are going to come. And then I'm going to walk into this best, most amazing, most influential version of myself. It's like, no, sis. What's going to happen is you're going to start, you're going to fail a little bit. You may embarrass yourself a little bit. Who cares? I would rather be embarrassed that I tried than completely complacent and
living with regret because you didn't.
And so often we do that regret, right?
Oh yeah.
So often. That's what I try not to do. And that's why you probably see me doing a lot of the things that I do, because I don't want to grow, evolve, or just, look back and have any kind of regret. I want to feel like I tried it, I did something, I tried to make that dream, that goal, something come to fruition. Because regret is such a heavy burden.
You're the only one who has to deal with it.
Literally, because don't nobody else give a damn about what you didn't do.
Couldn't care less.
Could care less. Like the 0 fucks given, that's how people feel about your regret. It is a completely personal thing.
Absolutely.
So try some shit, fail at some shit, do some shit. Like, do it. Just Nike, great term. Just do it. And whoever created it, y'all did a great job. But what we're now realizing, especially in this day and age, is for so long, women were taught, be independent. Don't depend on anybody. Oh, you don't need a man.
Get comfortable.
You don't need that's good.
Get comfortable.
We all get comfortable. Like, you don't need a man. You don't need anybody else to do whatever. You can just do it yourself. And what that did is it created a generation of women who were hyper independent.
Oh yeah.
And too much water will even kill you. Having too much of anything is not, it's not good. It's not healthy.
Right.
And if we were supposed to completely do anything by ourselves, we wouldn't have other people that existed on this big old rock that's floating around. Like, we're not supposed to do, no man is an island, even if and when you think you are. And so we're now seeing so many images of, you know, Black women laying down superhero capes.
Yep.
Because for so long we trying to carry everybody, their mama, their sister, the government, everybody.
Yeah.
So they're laying it down for a life of ease, right? What would you say has been the catalyst for it?
I think for me, it really goes back to just simply feeling and believing that I deserve all the desires of my heart. And so I never really wanted to tie or tap into the stereotype of like being a strong Black woman, although I feel like it's inevitable. And it's like, but who says I have to be the strong Black woman? Like, just because I'm strong doesn't mean that I can't also be soft. Yeah. And so it's always just been this idea of just, again, falling into the desires of my heart and just going after what I deserve.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that, or was that like a journey for you?
I think it's been a journey. I mean, I grew up single parent household, the oldest of three, was sort of raised very independent, if you will. And I just remember feeling like seeing things on TV and being like, well, why them and not me? Or I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, and even I think in what the industry that I work in media, being like, well, how did they get there? And you know, like being younger, like, how did they get there and how can I do that? And being curious and exploring the possibilities of something like that. Like, how can I too do this thing that I'm seeing? But also in that, like you said, being delusional, right? A little bit earlier, like going outside of your comfort zone of what you see. Like, the world's got to be much more than this road that I live on or this neighborhood that I'm in all the time. Like, this thing that I'm seeing in magazines and I'm seeing on television, like, it's real. You know, it does exist, right?
Yes.
And so it's like, how can I too do it? And so I think, like, just from being young, like living in North Carolina, growing up, always seeing things and being like, I remember saying, I don't want to say that, I don't want to age myself. Ciao! But like, I just remember seeing certain things and being like, it's possible.
Yeah.
And not even knowing how, but like just aiming
somebody
for that.
did it.
Somebody did it.
So actually, it has to be possible.
Exactly.
Somebody did it. Yeah.
I mean, you see that now with social media, right? You're like, oh, I hear the girls is getting flown out to Aruba, Cancun. You're like, me too. Like, you know, it's this sort of mood board, this inspiration board, if you will, that you use. It's like, well, she ain't gonna be the only one. Watch and see.
You know what I just liked? Ooh, I need y'all to for real take notes here. You just said you use it as an inspiration board. Yeah. Not as something that makes you feel bad. For a lot of people, they look at social media and it makes them feel so bad. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, why is that making you feel bad that this is their experience or their life? Sis, just decide that you can have it too.
Right. Where that jealousy comes in, that envy comes in.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And it's like,
people are like, oh, you know, I'm being triggered by social media, so I'm going to delete it. And I'm like, girl, just... First of all, change your mindset.
Shift your perspective.
Shift your perspective.
Maybe change the people you're following.
Change the people you're following. I'm like, the fact that you have to delete it, like, there's something else. Like, if it's not Instagram, then it's going to be something else.
It's something bigger.
Right?
Yeah.
It's going to be something more, and you've got to figure out what that is.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if you just need to kind of detach from technology.
Yes,
like, you just need to kind of sit with yourself.
Absolutely.
But this, like, I'm so triggered and I feel so crazy when I'm on social media. It's just like, okay, there's something else going on.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure. I always think that too. Like,
and it can be a little like, oh, what's going on? But I also have to remember, and it's just, again, it's how you talk to yourself and speak over yourself. Like, it's as great as something may seem, like, I don't know how they watered that grass to make it so green. So I can't compare. Like, somebody's grass, and you like go over there, and they're like, girl, it ain't even real green. They spray painted this bad boy.
Right,
it ain't even grass. Like, I saw a TikTok where they was like, who's gonna know? Nobody's gonna know. As he's literally spray painting the grass green to make it look more lush, right? Yeah. And so I say that to say, like, when you're looking at somebody else's picture image, you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing this amazing thing, and you like, you don't know what this person deals with. You don't know how they got there. You don't know their journey for this destination that you're now picturing. And so the only thing you can look at and say, like, wow, this looks great. How, if at all, if I want this, how can I also obtain that?
And obtain it for the way that that works for
In a
you
way-
because you
The
have
way
to
that works
remember.
for me.
Yeah, because you may not always be willing to do the things that they're
Right,
willing to do to get what they have.
right.
You might not be able. You might not want to suck a 65-year-old man's penis to
Boom.
go to the Maldives.
Chop.
You know
what?
may not be what you want to
Listen,
do.
I might not make it to the Maldives if that's the requirement.
Might go to the Bahamas. or
Might,
something.
right.
But the Maldives is not in my
Might fly myself to Miami and do for myself in Miami
What you can do.
what I can do.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So you gotta
but-
go to moderation. You gotta understand.
And
Like,
figure out what you're willing to do
Yes,
and stop complaining and shut up about it if you're just not willing to do it.
But
And that
also-
even goes for hard work. Like you may not be
Yes.
willing to do all those things. So
Yes.
just stop.
but
Yeah.
being okay with like if it doesn't happen. Like I mean, there's also times I see stuff and I be like even Oprah, you're like ooh, but you're like whoa, that all the
things
work and the
she had
things she
to
had
go
to
through.
do, right?
I think people don't understand that. If you
It's a
really read an Oprah autobiography,
Right.
Oh my God.
my good sis
Oh,
went through a
God.
lot.
Right.
Yeah.
She
Right.
was so like
Just from birth. Just
she
Yeah,
from
the
birth.
beginning.
She lost a child
Yeah.
that she conceived from rape.
Yeah.
Like
It's a
yo, she went through a
Right.
lot.
We don't realize how people's journey. I mean, it obviously builds them
Yeah.
and develops them for the person they are and where they are at. But again, you don't know the compromises, the sacrifices that
Yes.
people had to make along the way.
And what they
if-
went through may have broken
right.
you.
And
Yes.
it may broken them, but if given a chance, would they do it again?
Ooh.
Would they switch and be like, you know what? I'd give up all of this glory that you see and admire
Yeah.
for maybe to
For
like
soft
like,
life.
or just like to not have gone through that trauma.
Yeah.
To not have suffered the consequences of this action. You just never know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you've got to harness what your life is and how you can make it better and greater
Yeah.
for yourself. The comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
Simply put, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
Yeah.
comparing yourself among yourself is not wise.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not wise is because just like the theme of this portion of the conversation has been, you don't know what that person had to go through
Yeah.
to get that. So you're jealous of where they are now, but
Right.
you aren't jealous of the nights that they had to cry or when they were hungry
Right.
or when they had no money to pay their bills or when they
Right.
were so far in debt and sleeping on their friends' couches. So you're not jealous of that, but you're jealous
Right.
of the result.
Yeah.
How, Sway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just go for like, you know, I think we're talking about celebs a lot, but it's not just them, but it's people that we see every day. And you're like, oh my God, you're
Yeah.
so strong. And it's like, but I don't know what you deal with on the back end.
No.
Listen, you don't know the
Well,
therapy
You
they
don't know-
paying
right.
for.
You don't know what I deal with.
Yes.
Like, yes, I put up this picture perfect image, but you don't know what phone call I might have just taken beforehand.
That literally broke my soul,
Right.
but I knew I had to finish this for whatever
Right.
job or whatever
Yeah.
opportunity or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I put on a smile even though I was heartbroken.
Yeah, right.
Like, you don't know that. So since you don't
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah.
how about you just create a life that you love?
That you love.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Like creating
Yeah.
the life that you love.
Mhm.
You talk about a
Yeah.
soft life. You talk about, you know, having the things that you deserve. What do you love? How do you want to
Yeah.
feel? What do you want to project? What do you want to
And
emanate?
it's not
Like-
always what somebody else has.
No,
Like,
no,
it's
no,
okay
no.
for
It's
it
just
to
what
be
I. It's
something
what I want.
different.
Right?
Yeah.
No, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. I think it was just a days ago or a week ago or so. The trainer Massey Arias, is that how you say her name? Massey. She showed this. Oh my God, it was like I like almost cried. Like it was really sad. Like she showed. Obviously, she's this workout. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, she's on top with that. And she
Body
showed
goals.
this. Yeah,
Body goals.
she's next level. But she has always been open about how working out has helped her through depression and from dark places. And she showed this video, I guess, from like her camera inside her home where she's just boo-hoo crying. Like I'm talking about, like you just see her like breaking down because she went through like a divorce and all these things, and she's like, you guys always see all this picture perfect stuff. Like sometimes before I'm recording, like I just cried my eyes out, and it was just so moving to kind of see someone with that kind of influence on social media be real and be like, no, y'all, this is the reality. This is the whole picture. Since apparently y'all getting just a little bit of the picture is making y'all fucking crazy,
Right.
You know, like it's making people get into these spaces where they think that's real life. And it was just speaking about like just knowing that you don't know what people are going through. It's nice to look at what they have and desire it for yourself, but you have to be careful that it doesn't turn into envy and jealousy to the point where you start to self-sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
Not even knowing because you have all those feelings. And even touching on self-sabotage and what you said about whenever people start to feel like they don't belong in a certain space, and then they start to have imposter syndrome because it's like, okay, I'm comparing myself to her. She's been doing this for 10 years. She knows all these people. She has all these connections. I don't belong here with her. I don't need to sit how am I at this table? And then you have this imposter syndrome to the point where you will talk yourself out of opportunities.
For sure.
You will like self-sabotage yourself, and then you feel like you're not worthy to have those things. So how do you think women can work to get through those feelings of imposter syndrome and self-sabotage to kind of create that life that you love that we're talking about?
I remember the first time I heard that term, imposter syndrome, and I was like, what's that? What does that mean? And it's so funny. I mean, I'm sure it was something else, and then it like clearly got defined, but it's always been a mystery to me, because if you are in these spaces and places, despite who else is there, right? Like, you've been invited into the room. How are you an imposter? How? Because you've been invited and you are in the same space as the people that you admire, and it simply means that you've done the work and you are worthy of being in this place. It's one thing if you crash the party, right? Like, I don't know. Like, then, okay, yes, that's imposter syndrome. But even those people that's crashing the party don't have imposter syndrome, because they're like, yo, I belong up in here. They ain't get the memo, so let me remind them. You know, like, so it's like, you gotta have that energy, the delusion, baby.
The delusion of it all.
You gotta have that energy and trust and believe and know, like, I've done the work. I am here because I am worthy, because I deserve to be here. And we've got to stop telling ourselves no. I tell that all the time. Like, so many times we nitpick our dreams, right? Like, oh, this isn't great, or if I do a little bit more of this, then I'll launch then, and we're nitpicking it, waiting for idealism, waiting for perfection. You got to let that go and stop nitpicking the dream. Stop telling yourself no. Even if like a job, like I tell my friends, she's like, oh, I'm qualified. I'm like, girl, apply anyway. Let them tell you no. Let them tell you you're not qualified. Don't discount yourself before even entering the conversation, the chat. Like, let them say no. And then sometimes that person ain't required to tell you no. It's like, you know, like you're like, let me see the manager. Exactly. You ain't even got permission to tell me. You're not even qualified to tell me, yes, girl. Like, get the manager. So imposter syndrome is, I wish people to dismiss this notion. When you are in these spaces, especially when you have been invited into them, you belong.
Period.
You belong.
That's it. End of conversation.
Done.
Drops mic.
Yeah, that's a tough one though, because we have just always been told that we don't belong in spaces. I mean, we didn't belong in the same schools as white people, and it's deep within us, that feeling of not belonging. Sometimes we don't feel like we belong in the country you're born in. Like, that's
absolutely
crazy.
I was at an event recently, and I was one of two Black people in this space. And I might have been one of two BIPOC. You know? I'm like, what is BIPOC? I might have been one of two BIPOC Black people in the space, right? And there was there was literally like
that's all the diverse people.
Maybe like 50 to 80 people at this event. It was very intimate. And I just was like, wow, I am the only Black woman here for the time at the moment. And I was like, okay. But I also couldn't let that make me shrink. I had to continue to be who I am, because I'm clearly here for a reason.
So what's your self-talk in those moments? What do you tell yourself?
Besides, this is some bullshit. I ain't got nobody else who can money to this money. Besides that, besides that, right?
It's some bullshit.
There's some bullshit up in this moment. But I simply enjoy the space and the place.
Okay.
Right? Like, oh, the bar is open. Well, let me get myself a
cocktail connoisseur.
You know, let me document this moment, because I'm always documenting moments. I love doing that. I'm just enjoying it, right? And I'm engaging in what conversation is, what it may not be. I'm gonna have a good time.
Okay, so you basically tell yourself, I'm going to have a good time. I'm here for a reason.
I'm here. I'm cute. I dress for the occasion.
Hello.
She's got a look, okay? Because I think dressing well is a form of good manners. I've showed up.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
Showed up. I'm here. Let's have a good time. Like, I'm not going to shrink because I'm the only one. Clearly, there was something seen in me to invite me. Hopefully, it was something good, but I'm not going to assume anything less than good.
Yeah. So it's not, oh, I'm the only one. It's, yes, I'm the only one. Hey.
And baby, they set me at the head of the table. I was like, hello, hi. Welcome. It's not mine, but it looks as if
I'm borrowing it. Thanks.
But like, yeah, don't shrink in those moments. Just really embrace them. Have fun. Be you. Because clearly something has happened to garner you access to that space and place.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is, because you never know. Another opportunity could come in,
Yes.
right? Not to mention, maybe the next time you're like, well, I need to bring someone with me so that I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which I always ask for a +1, but I'm always trying to bring somebody along with me.
Yeah.
But even, and maybe it opens the door for like, oh, I just noticed,
I never thought of that.
or
Because
like I
people
didn't
can
see
be-
anyone else that looked like me here.
Yeah. And we were having this conversation earlier, is people can be oblivious to what does not affect them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're like, that's not their world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
it's
won't even think it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I don't see color. And it's like, BS, you don't see color, but okay.
Yeah.
I think we should just have a little bit more up in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's diversify just a little bit.
We don't got to see it, but can we just bring some more? Just so that, there is a level of understanding that we don't all exist just to only stay in our little dimension. And again, I like living my own world. In my world, oh man, shit's great. And also, I understand that I'm not the only person in the world, even though I'm the primary in my world.
Yeah.
I can bring others along. I can ask for different perspectives from other cultures, from different, ethnicities, from folks who are part of different religions. When you open yourself up to the breadth of life, you learn so much more, and it makes the adventure so much more exciting.
Not to mention the connections that you make and just the experience that you gain from it all.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's what you also have to embrace, like just the experience of it and how you grow from it. And what you will take away from this, if anything at all. But don't fall into the negative. Yeah. Try and lean into the light. Try and lean into the good, the positive of it all.
Yeah. I feel like, too, when it comes to creating a soft life for yourself, it requires you advocate for yourself.
Right.
Because it requires you to open your mouth to say, this doesn't work for me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like the way this makes me feel. I'm going to choose something that isn't so harmful to my nervous system.
Yeah. Listen, I love this whole concept of a soft life.
Oh,
I will say that I just feel like it's just a new way of saying self-care. Taking care of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, because that's essentially what it is. But it's also like, I'm going to consider myself and my needs first. I'm also going to indulge in the things that bring me joy. I'm not reserving anything for a special occasion.
I'm going to wear the dress today.
I'm going to wear the dress today. If I want to go to a spa, it does not have to be my birthday or, a holiday. Like, I'm going to get the massage because I deserve.
I'm going to go to the therapy because I want to work through this shit.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
But I feel like a lot of times, because I've been seeing a little bit of backlash with the term soft life.
What's the backlash?
I've been seeing it like that it's polarizing for women who can't afford a soft life.
But
so,
that's the...
Okay, but it's a question. It's a question because I just like from observing you, I feel like you're a master at mixing high and low in fashion. Like you do a good job of just like you just put things together in a way where it's just like, oh wow, well, you just always look very, very expensive.
Thank you.
Regardless of whatever it is, like you just are good at that. Like
Thank you.
It's just I love it. I love your style. But I think that people have to learn how to do that in life.
They have to
learn how to mix high and low because any fashionista, like a real person who understands fashion, is not always going to be wearing everything name brand. They know how to go to Zara and grab a little $50 dress.
Zara? They know how to go to Walmart and grab a $10 t-shirt and make it work.
Yes.
Like when you have style, you can shop, get fashion from anywhere. And especially as women, we can get a little $10 dress.
Oh, yeah.
And give it a bag.
Where that came from? You want to give it a bag and a shoe and a look, honey?
Yes.
It's a whole different look. But the backlash is that, it's for only a certain type of woman. So they feel like that. So how do you feel like women can take that same approach that you take with fashion? And I'm sure with your whole life, with just kind of figuring it out at any income. Because they feel like, I can't do it. I can't get a massage because I can't afford it.
And I hate that, right? Like, it doesn't have to be this grand thing. And I was saying the other day, I was like, a lot of y'all confuse overpaying with luxury.
Ooh, that's a word, sis.
That's not what it is, right? Like, it's enjoying those small moments.
Yes.
It's not reserving them for a special occasion. Yeah. Right? And it's not just about fashion. It's like, baby girl, I can go to happy hour and get oysters for $1.
Hello.
And something off the well cocktail list. And
have a blast.
After you take a little photo, they be like, "Oh wait, girl, I'm at happy hour by the seashore.
I came at this time to save me a little money."
You know what I mean? But it's also like, it's a little strategy maybe that goes into it,
Absolutely.
but it's enjoying those things and stop looking at it like it has to be this huge lofty thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's really putting those small things and making them important to you. For me, it's even like making my coffee in the morning.
That's for me. It's tea.
That's creating a
same
soft
way.
life.
I'm a tea drinker.
Oh, you're a tea drinker.
I'm allergic to
What
caffeine.
coffee drinkers at? Oh
Yeah.
man,
I'm allergic to
yeah,
caffeine.
you don't need no
I
caffeine.
can't.
You don't need nobody caffeine.
What you trying to say?
You got enough. She got enough.
What you trying to
Yeah, I
say?
see you ordered on camera. Caffeine. Listen, I just triggered. I only got the business out there, even though you can put mine on.
Natural caffeine.
Right. You know, told them I got into the questions and stuff. Anyway, I'm deflecting. But it's enjoying your coffee in the morning, having that moment, right? And I think you see these images and you're like, oh my God, I can't afford that, or that looks too luxurious. Says who?
Because expensive and luxurious are not always.
They are not synonymous.
They're not synonymous.
Yeah.
It's just drinking out of a nice mug in the morning, right?
That you got from Marshalls.
That you got from Marshalls, but it's cute and it makes you feel good when you hold it, right?
Yeah.
It could be like putting on lipstick because you don't typically wear makeup, but you want to put on something that just makes you feel more vibrant, more just feminine.
Yeah.
That is soft life. Stop
Yeah.
waiting for these ideal moments or these picture perfect things and like really diving into those small moments and finding your joy in that. I find joy in my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
I find joy when I'm like putting my jewelry on. I'm like, ooh, what rings am I going to wear today? What rings make me feel like, you know, like my sunglasses. I mean, I'm talking about fashion things, but even like, I'm like, I don't want to go and pay $100 for this cocktail here. Let's see if they have a happy hour and let's check this out.
Yep.
Oh, let's check out anything within the city or like just even, we see all these Instagrammable moments like, and that's why I also encourage people to take photos because they create great memories.
Yeah.
Right?
And also too, it gets you used to seeing yourself in
Yes.
enjoyment.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's
Seeing
why I love
yourself
a good
enjoyment.
picture.
And it's like a memory bank for you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Memory bank.
It's these memories you can go back and look at 5 years. Sometimes you're looking for a picture. You still like, oh, I was there.
Right.
Oh, that was cute.
And I'm also encouraging people, post your selfies. Post your selfies, photos of you smiling, you looking your best because, and I hate to bring it up, but we think about Breonna Taylor, right? And when they posted the images of her, sis was living her life.
Her best life.
Her best life. We see her well-dressed, holding flowers. We see her accomplished. We see her sharing those moments.
Yeah.
And it wasn't some random photo. You like, who in the hell picked this photo?
And you know they find the worst.
You know, we've seen it when you find
mugshot
the worst. You like, there was no other photo you could have picked besides this.
Never.
Hers, you had a range of options, right?
Yeah.
Because she showed and shared those moments. And so I encourage women like, post a photo, take the photo, like take these moments and capture them in life so that you can look back and remember them. And someone can look at you and be like, ooh, I am inspired by how you showed up in this space and place at that time.
Yeah.
It's so small, but you never know how someone looks at that, views that, and inspired by that.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about my wardrobe. I'm like, child, I got this dress off Instagram. I can't even tell you how, where, but it was a nice color, and I was like, that color works well for me.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and so it's just, again, taking these small moments, making them work for you.
Yeah.
You do not have to overpay. You do not have to pay a lot of money for luxury. Luxury
So
is
true.
what you make it. It is not attached to a price tag.
Yeah. And I love the idea about having a strategy.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if you live in Miami right now, it's spa month and it's Miami Spice starting in a couple days, right? So you get discounted rates on massages and spa treatments until the end of August.
Yeah.
Right? When Miami Spice comes up, you can get 3-course meals for like $29.
They got restaurant week here in New York City.
Yeah. And
I used to do spa week all the time when I was. I'm like,
Oh
I can't afford
my-
the spa, but I'm gonna go to spa week, and
Oh
I
my
would like
gosh.
calendar that joint.
Oh my God, it's spa month now, and it's
That's
like
awesome.
2 months of spa life.
Yeah, and I always say to people too, when we're talking about strategy, depending on how you like to date, and y'all know I love talking about dating, because I feel like we should give yourself the opportunity to learn who you are, what you like by dating multiple people. I didn't say fuck them all, but I absolutely said date them all.
Yeah.
Like, and if you do want to fuck them all, that's your business. Just get tested. We don't, we need, and use condoms. Okay, that's my PSA. I got off the topic. But if you know you want a certain type of man, go to where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, go to where they are.
I literally just posted that the other day.
Like, go to where they are. They're not coming to your house unless they're an intruder.
Right.
And if they're an intruder, you don't want them in there anyway.
I love people that want to date, and I'm like, they're like, oh, I want to be more social, but I never go outside. Well, how that work?
How?
I want a man, but I don't go nowhere.
How's that going for you?
Yeah.
This is not a movie. He's
Like, talk about delusional for real. You're really being delusional. Okay, you got to get out there.
You gotta get out there.
But also date yourself, right? Like, you showed up in these spaces, like, you may not meet a man in these spaces and places, but you know, you put on perfume, you dressed up, you stepped out because you're like, I'm going to indulge in this happy hour.
Yes.
If I meet someone, great, but if not, I've enjoyed myself.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you're going to nicer places because I only date well. So you're going to nicer places where there are men of your, of my, I can only speak for myself, of my caliber, what I'm looking for. So that's your spa weeks, or if they, let's say the men aren't at the spa, I know they definitely at that good restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the good restaurant.
It's so funny this came up because I literally just did a post on this on my Instagram the other day about having strategy when it comes to trying to find a certain man that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all, this is free game. Book you a little spa day, right? Most hotels, if not all of them, especially nice ones, you have access to the hotel the entire day when you book that spa, right?
Yeah.
So you book a little early morning spa day. You stay at that hotel. You go have lunch at that hotel. Especially if it's a nice hotel, you will have some traveling gentlemen who are in town and do it during the week, never on the weekend, because rich men don't care about weekends. They are around on Monday through Tuesday, Wednesday.
Rich men don't care about the week.
They don't. It's just another day.
Yeah.
Right?
They go whatever day they want to go.
Yeah.
Today's
So
Tuesday,
hotels are great because you have traveling people. They usually are okay. If they're at a very nice hotel, you can choose what caliber you're looking for. Okay. You might want to go to the Holiday Inn or the Ritz. It's up to you. I don't know what you're into. But it's a good idea to go there, stay there all day, lay out by the pool, have lunch, and just be in atmospheres where you feel good about yourself, but you can attract what you're looking for. You can't be saying, I want a certain kind of man, but you hanging out at Applebee's since he don't go there. He's not there anymore.
Unless that's the type of man you want. No disrespect.
Exactly. But go where you're going to find what you're looking for. But you can't be looking for it in all these places and then get frustrated when you're not getting it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Baby, I'm going to Home Depot. I'm going where the homeowners be. Hello. Like, I'm looking for, a shutter for my
Hello, I'm looking for some paint.
Right.
All the right. Go where they're at.
Go where go there. Go where the men be.
Yeah, go where
the men that you're looking for.
Yes. Yes. And so then would you say like that is a way to I don't like to release all the masculine energy. I feel like there are, just like with dark and light, you need them both.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you do need levels and of a little masculinity. Like, it makes it fun. It makes it fun for the girls and the guys.
So
but
funny.
would you also say that some of these things that you're suggesting is a way to like release a lot of that overpowering maybe masculine energy to lean more into that feminine, softer
and
life?
this is assuming that you have this masculine energy, right?
Yeah.
Because so many of us are so independent.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Somebody asked me this question kind of the other day. They was like, do you like to be the submissive or the dominant in a relationship? And I was like, I like my man to be the head.
Yeah, I'm a submissive in relationships.
I'm submissive, but I'm
also ask questions.
Listen, how I broke it down is I like my man to be the head, but I also need him to understand as a woman, I'm the neck.
Hello, that's what I
said.
said.
The head does not move without the neck.
Hello, that's what I
right?
say.
And so, but you also have to. It's so many layers to this question, right? Because it's also you want to be with a man who knows how to be the head and who knows how to lead and can take your hand and guide you, and you can trust that.
Yeah, and who knows when this ain't your lane, player.
Right.
Like, I love my mother, and also she should have understood that when it came to finances, my father never should have had full reign.
Yeah.
He never should have, because that was not his lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Not being disrespectful, not saying that, you aren't still the head of the house. You can still be the head of the house, but I'm not going to let you take over control of the finances when you can't balance a checkbook.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just not your that's not your lane.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad. It means you're better at other things. Let me let you flourish in your lane.
Yeah.
So I need a man too to recognize when, my wife is so good at this, I'm going to defer to her on this. Or not even my wife, my lady.
It is very important that a man does defer. And I think knowing the strength in your partner, right?
Yeah.
And I think, just as a single woman, I think we're so used to doing everything for ourselves and by ourselves. But you also just have to realize what you are looking for in a partner and be respectful of that.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I've also had to realize that what I want is not necessarily what I need.
Oh, hello.
And so I encourage women to think about that, your wants and your needs, and to be open to that. Because so many times we got this checklist of things we want, and it's like, sis, you don't need any of that. Like, you need someone maybe who can challenge you, someone who can do for you, someone who can just provide for you in a way that you never thought of, or just walk along with you, right? And so it's just important to think about what I want versus what I need. In a partner.
I love that.
And so I think we do have to let men be men. Sometimes I have to stop myself, like, you struggling with the bags, and like, can I be like, no, I got it? And I'm like, hold on, he just asked me for a reason. Let the man do it. Let him do it, right? Like, just because I can do it, don't mean I should do it.
Hello.
You know what? You just said something, and I don't even think you realized you said it, because I caught it. You put it down, and I picked it up. Thank you so much for that. Creating and curating a soft life requires you learn how to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You have to learn how to receive.
Did I say that? The way she just articulated that, it was just like, yes, that's what I said. Yeah, that was me. That's it. Did y'all know that? Okay, boom.
That literally is what you said, where the gentleman asked you struggling with the bags.
Yes.
Can I help you?
Yes.
And I used to be that type of woman, like, oh no, I got it. Yeah. Why, heifer?
Right.
Let the man assist you.
Absolutely. So hold on, I have a quick story of an observation I made of you yesterday, which is so interesting that this came up. So we've been friends for a long time now, right? So I've seen you are that, like, I'm gonna pick up the bags, I'm gonna do all the things because I can. I've always had to, right? That hyper independence. And you know that I'm just not.
She's not with the shit.
Never been like that.
Not
really.
With those shit.
But you've always been like that.
Always.
So yesterday I saw you do something. I didn't say anything because I was like, okay, sis, I'm so proud of you. It's so simple. But yesterday we had our guest and he was Jay. He was walking us downstairs we were walking to the restaurant nearby, and you stopped and waited for him to open your door. You never used to do that, though.
I didn't. I used to open all the doors.
She would open the doors.
I do that all the time. And can I just say, I love that for you.
Yes.
I would see you. I did, and there sometimes a little awkward pause when you standing there. And they standing there. Now we both standing there, right? And sometimes it's a little awkward. And I mean, I will say sometimes I'll be like, this motherfucker. But I'll also check a dude.
I say
like I remember telling one dude, I'm like, you're on the wrong side of the street. You need to be on that side of the curb. And he was like, I'm not from the South. And I was like, you have to be from the South to be a gentleman. To have chivalry.
I had something just like that happen with a car door. Where I was like, are you going to open my car door? He was just like, what year is it?
Right, no.
And I'm like, you can open
my car door. You can walk on the right side of the street. You can open the door to the establishment that we're walking in. I mean, I'm not going to be like, listen, I would love if you pull my chair out, but I'm not going to be like hardcore.
That's next level chivalry. They
hardcore, like, but a man that do that,
I'll teach you that.
A man that do that, that's like L-Y-S-M-D. Like, listen, a man that do all the things, you be like,
and they don't get it.
L-M-Y-S-D. If you know, you know. They're gonna be like, I figured out what Kela was talking about when she said L-M-Y-S-D.
If I think it is what it is.
I mean, like, there's a certain thing when certain men show up in a space, in a place, and they have this, like, just the swagger, the chivalry, and you see them and they like, embrace you in a way. It's like, man,
and they don't realize that it works for them. Like they try to resist it now to prove a point, and they don't realize that they're just working their way out of simplicity. And I just don't. You
like this could all be so simple, but you have to make it hard. It could all be so simple.
Listen, you'd rather make this hard. It ain't even gotta be this.
It ain't.
You can get so much more good vagina and amazing
simple
jaw.
Things that cost you nothing.
It costs you nothing to just be thoughtful. Like, ooh, my lady is about to, baby, come here. Let me grab your hand. We about to cross the street. Do you know?
Oh my God, we get wet instantly. Instantly.
You gonna hold my hand across the street? You care about my
well-being? You know what's the best? You know what's the best? When they grab you by the waist and lead you somewhere. Like, oh, come on.
Yes.
You're like, okay,
I'm gonna come. Now and later. Melting. Okay. Now and later. Just wait.
But it's just us leading. leaning into that femininity,
Yeah.
you know, and just being okay with feeling like that, because
Yeah.
sometimes we're so used to being hard that we don't even know how to just
It's
bring it
okay
down.
to be soft. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Yes.
You live, you learn. But just fall into that a little bit more. And I get it. It's hard sometimes just to find the man to fall in that with.
Yes.
But do it even for yourself. I'm telling you, in practicing it with and for yourself, it will be easy to do it with someone else.
And even in your friendships, like in your friendships with other women is a great place to practice. I practice lots of stuff on y'all. Like that's just what I do.
What you
like,
been practicing on the friends?
On all sorts of things, like stuff that I'm trying to work through. Like I remember the other day I was practicing holding space for a friend that's very emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not a hyper emotional person. Like I'm not a crybaby. I have a friend who she cries a little bit more than anybody that I know. Love her. But I've had to learn how to be delicate with her, because sometimes when you're very close to people, you feel like you can talk to them and be rough with them because they know you and you know how I am, you know how I talk, like And some people, no matter how close you are, they still need to be handled with care. Not like you're walking on eggshells,
I ain't with that,
but just a little more of a gentle approach. So I'll like be texting something like, oh no, delete. Because I know that even though we're close, she still needs a different approach so that I can reach her if I am trying to help. It can't just be about keeping it real. It also needs to be about being effective, you know? So I practice on my friends in that way. Like, okay, how can I, so even in my relationship, my partner he doesn't really like to be talked to a certain way, right? Like, it's like tone with him or something. And sometimes like I'd be annoyed and I'll like say something and I don't even mean anything, or I don't even realize that I'm saying something crazy to him. And he just takes it in a way that I'm just like, why did you take it like that? But it doesn't matter how well somebody knows you. Whatever,
but you also got to know them, right? It's knowing your partner, knowing your friend, because you're like, you know what I meant, but it's like I always say you got to meet people where they are in those circumstances, right? In a nutshell, so what your intentions are doesn't mean that the cause and effect was something else,
exactly. Or you might just catch them on an off day,
right?
They might be reeling from a trigger or in a mood, or they may be PMSing, like you never know what's happening, and you say that thing in that date, you know. So it's just kind of being sensitive and being aware of who you are, so that you can be aware of people around you, so you can treat them accordingly and treat them well.
Absolutely. And I think too, we were talking about like independent women, like for so long that has been our programming, so it can literally feel whole unnatural to be like, okay, I'm going to let him open my door. Like that awkward pause. Like, how long I gotta stand here at this good door before you realize
I'll stand there.
I'm waiting for you to open it.
And it may not work because there's this rejection too that could come with that, right? And I feel like that's why
women don't
awkward.
like rejection.
But men don't either.
Men are worse in
men
their dislike for rejection.
And so, but I think sometimes that's when you have to sort of like stand in who you are and the desires of your heart and the things that you want. But be flexible, right? Because maybe they don't know no better, or maybe you gotta learn them. As you gotta learn them. I can teach you that, but like be okay with that moment of awkwardness, right? And just standing there, and I get it. It feels real awkward.
Yes,
it feels real awkward. I'm like,
it does.
But you gotta be okay with that, because you also, I think, have to teach people how to treat you.
Oh, that's a word. Yes. That word never gets old.
Right? Like this is what I expect. This is what I'm used to.
Absolutely.
And showing and sharing that.
Yeah. Like that whole too, that feeling of, okay, it's okay for me to desire support. It is okay for me to desire ease. Like it is okay. And then too, it becomes sometimes a challenge, because how do I, especially with the rise of like the boss bitch, like women making more, women having more businesses, it's like, how do I find that delicate balance between I'm a boss ass bitch and I'm also a soft woman?
Listen, let me tell you something. Men don't care how much money you make at all.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care what your title is. They don't care how much money you make. They don't care how many degrees you got.
They don't care.
That's cute.
Nice.
But they need to feel like they can be a man.
Ooh.
Right? Like they are the one in the relationship. Now, unless you got yourself a little, what they call them? Not feminine. Not the opposite of a sugar daddy. When I'm saying when the guys
a cougar.
What's the boys called?
A boy toy?
Maybe
something like that. But I get what you're saying.
But
like
unless you have someone who's
asking
you for your money, unless you have someone who's seeking you out for money and what you can do for them, men don't really care about that. They want to feel like men with you, and your title is needed. When I come home, when you come home from being that boss bitch out in the world, know that I'm the man of this house. Okay, daddy. Okay, daddy.
Okay, I like it. It
But it's
was
hard
Kalisha
though.
voice. I like that.
I like that. Real bad.
Real bad. Is that
Real bad.
But it's not easy though, especially
Hell no,
if
it's
you've
not
been
easy.
single for a while.
You gotta
And
check
you-
yourself.
Yeah,
You have to check
just
yourself.
at the door, y'all. Before you
You gotta
walk in
check
the door,
yourself.
just like take it off, like figuratively. Just take off whatever
The
that
armor,
person is. Like name the boss bitch version of yourself and put her to sleep
Yeah,
for a little bit
right.
Yeah.
before you walk through the door, so that you can then be the woman that your man needs you to be,
Yeah.
so your relationship can flourish. Because so many women complain that
Yeah.
they are having a hard time in relationships because they're uber successful.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be like that. You can have it all. You can be
You
uber.
can.
Y'all, you know who inspires me? J-Lo.
Listen,
Okay.
J-Lo, let me
When
tell
it
you
comes to
something.
love, when it comes to love and her ability to just trust love again and again
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
again,
Oh yeah.
like
She
that
took
shit
Maya
moves me.
Listen, she took
That
Maya
is-
Angelou's quote to life.
What's the quote?
The quote is,
I'm sure you. What,
trust love
yeah, again and again.
and one more
One time,
time,
yeah.
again, something like that.
yeah.
Y'all,
That is admirable.
J-Lo,
She don't care about public perception.
She don't
what you call her.
care.
She
Sis
goes.
don't
She
keep a
does
husband.
Follows her heart,
She won't keep a man.
but she
A
keeps
husband, not just a man.
no, a whole
husband.
husband. She on like 6 rings, like Tom Brady. Like she gets this idea of that it's about what she desires.
Mm.
And she leans into her femininity in that way, but then she also can create this empire and this lifestyle for herself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like that for me. Like if I had to do life again, I would definitely take a more J-Lo approach. And
But
get married,
also,
like, 6
it's
times.
also we gotta realize it's also men stepping up to the plate and not being intimidated by J Lo and what she does professionally,
Right.
and personally, right?
Yeah.
But like, okay,
And she dates a range.
She does.
dated married the dancer,
Mhm.
and she married the Uber, Mark Anthony, and she
Mhm.
got over the bed, and she
don't give a
dated
that
Puffy.
stuff.
She don't give a rat's ass
And
about.
that made me thinking about the fact that you're being successful, especially if it's financially, you're financial independent. It actually allows you to choose men based on more
Their
of
character.
really what you want from them.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Right,
it changes
right.
your access to what you really want. And then you can remove some of those not bad intentions, but some of the reasons that are not as pure
yes
for looking for a man. It's like I have my own stuff, so if you come to me, you gotta come correct.
Yes,
Like,
there's
it
a
makes
level
you
of
raise the
freedom that
bar.
goes with it.
Yeah,
like, and I
freedom.
think they're like, well, we got to stop raising out girls to not think they don't need a man. But there's this level of freedom, and like, I've got all of that covered. I can take care of myself. I can do
Yeah.
this thing, but like, can you meet me where I'm at and
Yeah.
help me in this journey?
Yeah.
How
Can
are
you
you
take me to
riding
the
it?
next
Because
Yeah.
I don't need you. We're going back to the other needs and wants, but like, I want you.
I want
And
you.
that's-
I'm so
and
that's
excited.
that's
kinda
special.
love.
That's special.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
want
want you.
so bad.
And a lot of men
Yeah.
are like, oh, whoa, they're
Yeah.
not used to that either.
Yeah, like don't you want me to like be into you instead of tolerating you?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Like some people are like, oh, we want to go back to the love of our grandparents. Your grandparents didn't like
They
each
didn't
other.
like each other.
Like
right?
9 times out
Right.
of 10,
They
like
didn't.
they had
They slept in different rooms.
Yeah.
Separate beds. But listen.
They only got
They made it
together
work,
when they
though.
needed to have sex.
Right, right.
Like they
To
didn't even
procreate.
fucking to procreate.
Right.
They didn't like each other. They didn't enjoy
No.
each other. He
Right.
had the mistress down the street, not even
With
on
his
the
other
other corner,
family.
with his other family.
Oh my God, you know that's like the movie Fences. You know when I watch
Yes.
Fences, I just get so livid.
And then she
seen Fences.
oh my
Listen,
gosh,
I'm
girl,
embarrassed
have
to
you
say.
a drink and watch Fences?
Oh.
It is very.
I
triggering.
just keep seeing that scene of Viola Davis
With the
and
snot.
her impeccable snot cry
Yes.
that won her an Oscar, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna be triggered. I
Oh.
can't do it.
I'm extremely.
It is triggering.
extremely-
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
It
sure.
is triggering.
Yeah.
Like the way he handled it
Oh,
for me was
girl.
just it was the ghetto.
but I feel like it's perspective, right? So looking
Yeah.
at, hey, I am very successful. I can choose my men in a different way for
Yeah.
different
Yes,
reasons. And
yes,
men should embrace that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knowing that
Yes.
if a woman is successful, this gives you the opportunity to be with somebody who really loves you for you.
Yeah,
And a lot of men
absolutely.
feel, especially if they're financially successful,
Absolutely.
that they are not high value men. I mean, the fact that we're even
I
basing
hate that
people's value
term.
on their financial
Yeah,
success is
like
ridiculous.
because to me, finances is the first step. What about your character? What about your integrity?
Yeah.
How do you
what
treat
about that
people?
D?
You're like, forget all that. What about that D? Tell me what that D do.
Right? Like, all that. Like,
Listen.
what that mouth do?
Listen.
Okay, I'm kidding.
I was being very serious, and she just took me to a place.
What that mouth do now?
Go to sleep. Time out. Time out. 10 minutes.
Listen, I'm listening to this. She got ring. She got rock on her hand over here. Like, go ahead, drop the notes. Sis. Carry on. What should I do? Okay.
no, continue. Sorry.
I don't even know what I was talking about, but I like that. No, we were talking about it. Money can't be the only thing. Like
absolutely not. We always
you get to date them for their character and how they treat people. Take them out to eat.
Money don't mean nothing if I don't like you.
Oh my
that
god.
I'm like, yo, stupid.
No, listen, dumb.
Every other week.
Oh
my god,
he
was rich, but he was so stupid.
I can't. I want to enjoy this company.
Yes, I have to enjoy it.
I want to want it. Like,
and
I also want to feel like you can teach me something. Not for nothing.
Girl, didn't I
again?
just
Somebody
say
that teach me something impresses me, keeps me on my P's and Q's. LNYSD. Like. That right there. Oh my God. Turn on. Turn on.
Oh my God.
Turn on.
I cannot wait until y'all. I need you to slow it down for them so that we can make sure they catch it. LMYSD.
Can't believe I'm saying
the girls
this
who know
on the world.
I love it.
It's okay.
I love it.
I say to among my friends all the time, I'm like, girl, this man walked into the day. He had this on. He looked, it was like LNYSD.
I love it.
It don't mean it's gonna happen, y'all. But I'm just saying, you know,
but I thought about it.
It's that demeanor. It's like, you know, put that thing
for real.
Yes, that energy.
No, it's a real thing, and I'm happy that we can start having these conversations, though, right? Because historically, Black women do not have certain conversations publicly.
Yeah,
we don't. We
don't do that.
It's taboo.
It's taboo.
So, my God, you can't see me in this way.
Yeah, especially if you do well, especially if you have certain titles, and it's just like, let's like leave all the like. We don't all got to be Michelle Obama, y'all. We already got her. She can say everything.
Michelle Obama's doing some things too. Okay,
yeah, but she's not about to be like LMYSD. Okay, she's not. Which there's nothing wrong with that either. But I feel like
first lady, so it's okay. It's okay.
I'm not trying to be the first lady of nothing. Not your
like,
church.
we're not all first ladies. Like, let us have the first ladies be first ladies, right?
Enjoy.
I'm not saying that we're not ladies, but I just feel like let's start being real so that we can help each other. Like, we need to have these conversations. I remember one time I was having this pain in my pelvis. And it was me having to talk to my girlfriend for them to help me realize it was my IUD when I was ovulating.
Wow.
If I never opened my mouth and started talking about what I was going through, and that was like something I wouldn't really talk about. Like, I know I'm in pain. Like,
y'all gonna think I got an STD.
Yeah, like we would talk about, and they were just like, "Oh, are you ovulating?" And I was like, "I am ovulating, bitch." She was like, "Yeah." Sometimes because of how your pelvis contracts and can get inflamed to start prepping your body, because when you're ovulating, your body's preparing for a baby.
It wants to get pregnant.
And I was like,
first of all, too, I think that's the most disrespectful thing ever. That literally our bodies are created to get pregnant every month. This bitch wants to get pregnant every month. What type of demon seed did you think? What type of ridiculous?
Oh my gosh.
Once a quarter would be totally fine. Every month.
But it's true.
But then it gets so angry that you are not pregnant, it rips the egg from your walls and decides to violently expel itself.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
oh my gosh. Triggered.
Triggered. It's not necessary.
Oh my God, you look crazy.
It's unnecessary.
Kayla, thank you so much for having this conversation and sharing these laughs and just showing women that you can be all the things.
You can.
You know, and I don't know why that's taken us so long, but I'm happy we're here now. And again, we just need more women like you to keep giving us permission. Not permission like, oh my God, if you're not doing it, we can't, but just permission by just showing up and how you show up in the world. It inspires us to show up like that and to do better and be better and be fabulous and say all the things and do all the things and be in all the spaces.
Live your life, sis. Live your life.
Yeah.
You only get one.
You only, listen, if you do it right,
you do it right. It's the only one you're going to remember anyway.
Right.
So, I mean,
that's it.
It's the only one you're going to remember.
I don't know what that afterlife looked like. I have no idea. I have no idea if I was here before. I don't know.
It's not something that's in my actual conscious. Yeah. So it is what it is. But no, listen.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Awesome. I want to make sure, where can we stay connected? Yeah. Where can we find you on Beyonce's internet?
Follow me at Kela Walker, Kela Walker, across the board, across the global web. That's me, Kela Walker.
I love it. You already know you can stay connected with me at Alicia Reese, spelled quite uniquely. ALECHIA, everywhere on Beyonce's internet.
And you can stay connected with me at Miss Dani Foster. You can go to my website, Dani Foster Coaching. And for Triggered, you can go to Triggered AFPC on Instagram, Triggered AF, the podcast on Facebook. I always forget to say that. And triggeredafpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our email list. You can watch the videos on YouTube, y'all. So share this with your mama. Share this with all the people who need to lean into their femininity and lean into a soft life so that we can bask in it and we can just live our best lives. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Kela, for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Triggered AF. Remember, don't be consumed by your triggers. Confront it and then work to release it. Whether you leave us more triggered than you came or you're feeling like you've been open to a new perspective, our hope is that you've grown. Make sure to share this episode with a friend who's trigger happy and tag us while you're listening. We can't wait to hear from you. Until next week, pull it together, girl.